listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Vegas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Vegas After Show.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, AfterBuzzers. Being us for doing. And this evening, Nicholas Perdue and myself, your host Thaddeus Massey, are glad to come back and host another episode of CBS's Vegas. This episode is called Little Fish. Well, Nicholas, we're back.
We are back. It's good. It's good to see. I haven't seen you in a month and a half.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Ladies and gents of the AfterBuzz Vegas Nation, we apologize on behalf of CBS. No, not really, because it wasn't our fault. It's their fault. You got to talk right into them because we love the show. We think the show is great. And obviously you think the show is great, too, because you're listening and you're watching or watching.
We want a season 2.
But, yeah, I mean, this episode, they came back, I guess, from this hiatus with the kind of it was a good episode.
They wanted to prove a point.
I think they did want to prove a point.
I think that's kind of what it was. Like, they wanted to make a staple that, like, hey, we're back in action.
I think so. I think they wanted to say, look at here, look at here.
You know, the first scene was some boobies.
Was a boobie? A booby trap.
It was a pair, yeah.
Well, anyway, let's talk about this episode. Let's start it off because Jack and Ralph, they started off on an action sequence. Well, it wasn't an action sequence. It was an action scene.
Kicking the door down
at a seedy motel where a young underage, underprivileged girl was involved in some youth sex ring.
Prostitution, basically.
Syndicate thing, whatever was going on. Yeah. Youth prostitution. And so this guy, I guess, who she got busted with, apparently, was an employee
of the Savoy.
Mm-hmm. So they got to go ahead and try to, I guess, string him up. I mean, how long do you think this is going to last? Do you think that, you guys actually watched the episode, so I'll jump ahead a little bit with the question. But, do you think that they're really going to be able to tie? They're getting close.
They're getting
close to getting these guys implicated on something serious.
With the skim.
And the feds have gotten involved. This guy pops up out of nowhere. When they take the perp down to the station for this child sex ring, as soon as he's about to spill the beans on the situation, this fed comes in and says, "Don't say anything." I thought it was an attorney at first, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a federal agent, but he wants to, have him drop dimes on the whole mob syndicate, the Chicago mob syndicate, so he can take down Savino and the whole lot of them, which obviously is a bigger fish, which is why the episode is called Little Fish, because this is really about the moral of the story is a little fish, blah, blah, blah. What do you think about that?
I mean, I understand what he was. Fish. Yeah, I understand what he was trying to do. What the FBI agent was like, we can. This is our angle, because of course, this show is all about angles, and as you saw through this entire episode, that everyone was plotting a little something. Like everyone had motive for something to get something else.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like with this, unfortunately, the FBI agent was very like, child prostitution's wrong, but we have bigger fish to fry, which is this mob ring up in Chicago.
I mean, for me, it makes sense. I mean, I understand Ralph was like, you're going to put these girls back on the street, like she has nowhere to go, but that kind of thing. And it makes you feel bad for the girl, but at the same time, when you think about, okay, they can cook a way bigger fish. If you're talking about organized crime,
yeah,
then there might be a huger child sex ring possibly
linked to
that with anyway. So
yeah. Well, I mean,
you never know
six in one hand, six in one hand and like a dozen in the other. But Ralph being the Dudley Do-Right, he sees someone who is in distress, and so his mentality is just, I need to help this person right here, right now, and get that. He likes to see things through.
Right.
He likes that.
He likes to complete his said
task before moving on to something else.
Right. But I mean, he has been after Savino for a minute now.
But Savino's a complicated process, though.
Well, I mean, or do you think maybe he just wants to take the credit for it, or he wants to be the one, because he can be a little narcissistic himself. So maybe he wants to be the one to bring down Savino.
I mean, I think he has, I don't say a personal vendetta, but I think, he definitely, wants that headline, wants that big news story. Local sheriff takes down, big crime boss in Vegas. Of course he wants that for, the praise, whatever. But at the end of the day, his main focus is the day-to-day stuff.
Right.
Well,
one thing I did like that they strayed away from was another whodunit, because if there was another murder, I was gonna be like, oh my gosh, really? It's like that many people dying in 1960.
Yeah,
and maybe
Wild West back then.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy, but still, it was just I'm glad they introduced something else that had nothing to do with a murder.
Yeah, but it was
something new,
interesting.
It was something cool and fresh. Child sex ring.
It's cool and fresh, huh?
I mean, it's cool and fresh compared to what we've been seeing. I mean, it's a new investigation.
Some people find it sad and disheartening, but you find it cool and fresh, so that's fine.
I mean, it's better than murder. At least the girl wasn't dead. She was alive. She can, she got sent off to secretarial school by Mia in the end. But anyway, we'll get to that. Ultimately, we had a new storyline. Which is the refreshing part, which is cool as far as watching and being a fan of the show is concerned. Let's talk about Jack and Mia, because Jack and Mia, that situation, I really feel bad. I think Mia is being a little cold-hearted, towards the situation. I think she's going to open her eyes up eventually. I hope she opens her eyes up, but I think she will. Just like Jack said to Savino, she's a smart girl, so she's going to figure it out. But poor Jack. I mean, how do you feel? Let's before we get into Jack and Mia, let's talk about this cover-up situation, because we see that the shady DA is holding this.
The idea.
Yeah, is like he's got Jack in his back room.
Yeah.
It didn't even seem like a regular interrogation room. It seemed like some seedy back room with boxes and stuff, like the one dangling light bulb kind of thing. It had that feel, even if it wasn't that, it had that vibe to it, because I guess he was trying to interrogate Jack or whatever. But the ADA were there, thank God, and Ralph was there. And I think he was going to try to indict him, but it was like, there's no way I can pull this off with the ADA here and Ralph here. He's like, I could have you out of this room, blah, 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 blah.
Jack was like, do you want to go outside?
No, Ralph was like,
yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you want to see me outside? He's like, yeah, he's like, not happening. So, what do you think about Ralph showing that he could be a little shady too with this whole cover-up?
Well, here's the thing.
Because it was obstruction. What Jack did was obstruction of the technically by the rules of the game.
Yeah, but
he covered it up.
The situation that he was put in, Well, and I mean, okay,
we know the situation.
Okay. Well, let's back up here though. So, if Jack wouldn't have waited that long,
and the DA did mention that specifically because of the time period that's lapsed.
Yeah, because it was like a statute, right?
Right.
Limitations
Why
or whatever it is.
Well, no, not statute of limitations, but just the amount of time. Like, if he would have come forward sooner and went ahead and actually admitted to what had happened and said, look, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Then there's issues about the prints, because remember, he covered the prints up. So now it's kind of like,
he's digging this hole.
He's dug a hole.
Yeah.
He's not digging. It's dug.
Yeah.
And, he's basically got tossed a rope by his brother, who knows.
Yeah.
And, And the ADA is like, she's not going to let anything happen to Ralph and / Jack, because whatever happens to Jack affects Ralph, and that affects her. So, which we're still waiting to see something crack off that really affects.
Well, that's
Catherine.
That's for season finale. But I don't know. I mean, like, I feel that, and Jack even explained this to the DA. And he says, having to tell the woman that I love that I killed her father, like that's something.
That's
heavy,
a hard thing to do.
And I mean, yeah, I feel that he did take a long time. Even if you cut that time in half, then it probably would have helped out the situation a little better, as opposed to waiting for as long as he did. But
right.
It's like, okay, you've already done it. You've already changed the prints, and you've already so it's like there's no going back. Ralph burned the other print, so it's like
right.
there's really no going back now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
they're in it to win it.
Exactly.
Right.
So at the end of the day, he's like, well, you got to stick with your story.
Well, the DA was smart to let him go, because that just would have been all too suspicious. They already suspect him on a number of things.
Yeah.
And he finally gets caught up, as we see in the season preview for next week, or the episode preview for next week. So he's finally looks like he's gonna get what's coming to him, maybe.
Who knows? He may get popped in the kneecap or something.
Because he has to get his hands filthy now, according to Savino. He, getting his hands dirty isn't enough. He has to get his hands filthy. He said, I don't pay you just to wear fancy, what did he say? Fancy suits,
hair and
have perfect hair and collect
envelopes.
Yeah. Like, what do you think I'm paying you for? You got to put in work. Like, this is what we do. This is a dirty business. Right. So, yeah, this is like a reality check for the DA. I think this guy, he's been over his head since day one. I think he thought since he was the DA, he was cool, and he was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do stuff for you guys. He really doesn't realize that, you really work for Vince, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, but what he said though, he said, I just handle stuff like on the district level.
Right.
It was like, those are the feds. Like, I don't want to get into all that. Like,
right.
That's
it is above his pay grade, but that's
what he signed up for.
Right. That's part of the business. It's like doing stuff that has nothing to do with you being a DA. You thought that this just had to do with you being a DA? Like, no, you gotta prove up.
Yeah, and because it's like, he is in that position to where he can approach the feds or can do this and do that, and it won't really seem out of place.
Right.
Because if it's, a casino head and now you're talking to the feds, and then it's, looks a little different as opposed to someone who's already in politics and who's already in this, position with the city or with the county, essentially.
Right.
That, so it makes sense. He just has to do what he doesn't really want to do.
Well, when Savino and Mia find out about this guy, what's his name, Frank something, the guy who was he was one of their bookkeepers. He's one of their accountants. And they, can get him to testify against the Savoy and Savino and Mia as far as them taking Skim.
Sing like a canary.
Then that could get Mia 20 years in jail with Savino. That's like a whole different story now. She was like, wait, my man just shot my dad. Now you're saying I can get 20? She's going to go crazy, this one right here. Like,
well, we already see it. Like, we already see, like, her getting tough.
Yeah.
And she's, like, a little more stern. Her skin is thicker now.
Yeah.
She's really thinking things through, but she's really thinking things like, from a kingpin's perspective.
Right.
And so
she's a scary boss.
She is. And because I feel like now, like, she'll be cold-blooded. Like, she'll be just, but I don't think that she'll do things that are very vindictive. But she has, like, a cold-blooded or, like a real cold side to her, but she does still have that ounce of, like, I can relate to you.
Well, I think that Jack probably is the only one that could keep her from actually
going off the deep end,
going to the dark side of the Force.
I mean, or it
you know what I'm saying?
It could be like yin and yang, and then Jack could do, because we've already seen him do a little dirt. So
Jack hasn't done any dirt.
I mean, he went in and roughed up Savino.
He did that all just to put the wire on the phone, which was really funny. I thought that was great that he went in there and just, I thought it was great that he went in there and just started knocking him around. I love that. And then when I found out it was just for the wire, I was like,
Well, but what did you think it was for originally?
Because of this thing with Mia, like he's tired of this being held over his head, and Mia doesn't know which way to go, and he hasn't, he's backed up.
Well, I mean,
he hasn't been with his girl in a minute.
He kind of used it like it was kind of like killing two birds with one stone,
right?
So because he needed to go in and put the wiretap, so he went in there and did that. And, he went in there to, let Savino know that, this is,
And this whack wiretap, let's talk about this whack wiretap, ladies and gentlemen. AfterBuzzers of Vegas. This 1960 wiretap, so they're tapping Savino, and they can only hear what Savino says. That annoys me.
It's a one-way
wiretap. So when the DA was talking to Savino on the phone,
they couldn't hear
They couldn't even hear the other side.
Yeah,
they can only hear the phone that's actually tapped, not the other person.
That's technology back in 1960. Not technology like today in 2013, like iTunes, right? And what you could do is you can go on, rate, comment, and subscribe.
True.
Make sure you subscribe to our AfterBuzz podcast, the one for Vegas here, and any of your other favorite shows that we do here at AfterBuzz. You can go back, you can listen to them, and comment. Okay, all the great comments, we'll go on, we'll read them, we'll shout you out, and, we'll like you, tweet us, all that fun stuff. Get your parents involved, and, it only takes a second.
Get your parents involved.
Because parents, they like to be involved. Okay. My mother just likes to be involved, so I just say get your parents involved.
Okay. So. I mean, yeah, sure, why not? Get your children involved, too, and your grandkids, and your dogs and your cats, because it's a family show.
Yeah.
CBS Vegas. Anyway, so Savino and these fish. What's up with this stupid henchman that he has? It makes the comment about the fish getting tired, and then says, "Well," and he just looks at him crazy, and he's like, "If it was me, I get tired."
That's why he's a henchman.
This dude is an idiot. He's always saying stupid stuff every episode.
Because that's like his role is to rough people up.
Maybe he's really smart and he doesn't want them to know how smart he is, because then he's like, if they realize how smart I am, then they're going to think I'm a threat and then they might want to whack me. So I'll just be stupid. Maybe that's like his thing.
Could be that. Or he's literally just, and that's all, he's there by Savino's side, needs to, because, Savino only gives him like easy tasks. He doesn't give him anything that's too, complicated.
Well, let's talk about tasks, because Mia gave him a task to rough up old boy after they got him out. But before we talk about that, Mia goes to the police station
with the attorney, with the Savoy in-house attorney
counsel.
Yeah,
they show up to the station, and the Fed stops her. I can't remember this guy's name for nothing. I always forget his name.
It's Agent something.
It's definitely Agent something. But he's good. This guy's a good actor. I like him. But he stops Mia while she's walking in with the in-house counsel to go talk to Frank, whatever his name is, the child pervert guy. And he ends up flipping the scales to make her fear for herself. She doesn't even bother to go in the room because this guy, they've already appointed him an attorney.
Yeah.
So they end up leaving. Now, she played it cool, but it was kind of like she still could have went in there and talked to him and been like, is everything cool? Is this attorney cool? Or are we going to have to, She could have said something. But she was shook.
To kind of keep the, yeah, she was.
She was shook. She got up out of there. Like, she hightailed, like, okay. I'm not going to jail for 20 years. He was like, if you want to spend the better part of your childbearing years in the county or state prison, that was like, wow. That means no more Jack.
Yeah.
If that happens. So she bounced. Of course, I'm sure she's thinking about Jack when he said the better part of your childbearing years. Did they have conjugal visits back then?
They probably did.
In 1960?
They probably did.
I'm not sure if they did.
They had Plan A minus.
Oh, no, he didn't. Plan A minus.
Yeah, it was stuff was more potent back then. I'm looking for
looking for this guy's name. Anyway, so we've gone a little minute without talking about Dixon.
No, okay, all right. Okay, see, this is why I like Dixon.
The scenario with Dixon is freaking hilarious.
Because this guy, he is really like the ladies' man.
Yeah.
And he gets invited over to Violet's because Violet leaves the hotel. Right. And so she says that she's gonna rent a house. So
and
she
Violet,
goes,
for you guys who don't know, I'm sure if you watch, you know who she is. But if you haven't watched, Violet is a girl who's a movie star who's in town who's dating this like
producer,
big time
like, movie
producer who's this old, pervy looking
Silver,
Barry Silver. He's old and he's powerful.
In relation to Joel,
not sure.
Because I was thinking, I was like, is that who he's supposed to be like?
No, I mean, this is 1960.
I understand.
And Joel Silver's not that old, I don't think, even in real life. No. But anyway,
so she's in this house now.
Yes.
Right. And it's big. It looks nice as a pool. Right. It's palatial.
Right.
Dixon pulls up. There's supposed to be a party. He gets invited. Right. So he gets invited to a party, and Yvonne gets the note. But Yvonne doesn't give Dixon the note until 5 hours later, right? So she's cock blocking a little bit.
She is a cock blocking.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Right?
But I like how she's playing him because she has to make him take the initiative. No, I don't even think it's so much work because she's
not throwing it at him.
No, she's not throwing it at him at all. But she wants to know it's for real. So she's not really. Even though she's not playing hard to get, she's making him prove himself at the same. She's making him take the initiative. She's making him take the initiative. That's what it is, because he's so used to
just
getting it.
He's riding around
and getting it. He's riding around. He's getting it. Dixon just gets it.
And then
he's got one of this hot movie star chick. He's hitting right now. So I mean, he's used to
just pulling up and getting it.
And then, I guess her only leverage is the fact that she probably doesn't even, what happens if she gives in? Yeah. Do you think when she gives in and finally, do you think they fall in love, or do you think his initial reaction is going to be like,
great, I'm moving on to the next one.
I got another one.
Yeah, just another notch on my belt.
But, I don't want to play Dixon like that, because Dixon, I think part of him is kind of like a romantic, because he tends to almost kind of fall in love with these girls that he messes around with, which is really funny. Remember the girl who was traveling with her family?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she poisoned the sandwiches or something like that.
Yeah.
And he jumped in the pool and saved her. He was like falling for her, and then she turned out to be like an attempted murderer. Not a murderer, but she was an attempted murderer. And he had slept with her and everything, hooked up with her. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to arrest her. So he ends up arresting her after he hooks up with the chick, which is really funny. So I think he actually was kind of falling for her. It seems like he's falling for the girl,
but he falls quick. That's what it is. So I think it's just he gets in quick, right? And so mentally he's in there, and then once he's physically in there, he's like, oh my God, I think I love her. And then something always happens to where but it's the same cycle.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that he would be all into Violet if she wasn't a movie star?
I think so, because she's a good looking girl. Yeah, because honestly, I don't think that the movie star doesn't really appeal to me. It's an additional bonus, but I don't think it's like,
you think
oh my
he's into
God,
her?
she's
okay. Yeah. It seems like he's into her.
And because like how you can tell is when the morning after, and he's laying there thinking, okay, what am I gonna say to this chick? And he has this thing about ham,
right?
So it's kind of like, okay, I don't, and because he's not trying to impress her.
I don't think he tries to impress anybody.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. But no, because if she wasn't a movie star, I think it would be all into her.
Right.
So that's I don't think that he's jaded by her being in Hollywood and her doing movies, and I think he generally likes her for her.
Right.
So.
Well, what do you think about this plan that they conjured up to get rid of Barry? Because she couldn't just dump him. She's like, look, if I dump this guy, he's going to ruin my career.
Yeah, blacklisted in Hollywood.
Yeah, she's going to be blacklisted, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he helps her come up with this plan, which ends up backfiring, of course, for what the whole plan was supposed to be. It actually kind of worked out for her favor in her career, because
I mean, I think it was a good idea, and that's how you can tell he really likes her, because he would go through all this. You know what I mean? Just to be with her.
Right.
So it's like, okay, like if you really like a chick, you know, or if you didn't like it, like if all you were doing was just getting in,
right,
would you really like go through all this just to, you know, get in when you know that it's Vegas, you know what I mean? Like there's girls coming in, you know, the hotel pools and this, you know, so like he's not, you know,
right,
new, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean the hotel pools in 1960 weren't like there are day clubs now, like not even close. I think you're thinking about.
Nah. I mean,
there's day pools, there's girls outside, there's electro music, there's DJs. No, that's not going on.
We saw him at a pool party a couple of episodes back.
Yeah, we did.
There was women out there.
Well, I don't know if there was a pool party. It was more
okay, but
because the pools were popular hangouts.
There was women at the pool.
There were families at the pool.
Okay, but
remember this is pre-Circus Circus, so it was really a family. It was made for family.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that there aren't women at the pool.
No, that's true. No, I think there have always been women at the pool.
Either way.
Yes, either way.
There's women out there for Dixon to slay.
I think Dixon, he wouldn't know what to do with himself now. You see how he got all ramped up and she had those granny panty bikinis on? That bikini she was wearing when she took her robe off?
He needs to go to Brazil.
OMG.
Yeah,
he would not know how to handle himself if he was that age in 2013.
He wouldn't.
Well, I tell you, they hardly wear anything nowadays. You might as well just be walking around naked. This is ridiculous. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so Dixon is in love with this girl, and Yvonne's in love with him. So this kind of brings up he needs to like conjure up this plan, and he has to use what's his name? The young guy who's the entertainment director. I'm asking Nick again. See, I should know this, but I'm asking Nick. The guy who's the entertainment director, the new guy, is it Stone or something like that? His last name.
That sounds right.
It sounds right, but it might be wrong. You guys, call in and correct us. It's been like a month and a half.
Tweet us.
Or you can tweet me at Club Thaddeus, or you can tweet Nick at the Nick Perdue, or you can call in 424-256-1633, 424-256-1633 to correct us, tell us we're lame, stupid, or we're amazing and we're great. Or
Tommy Stone.
Or to ask a question. It is Stone.
Tommy Stone.
Now Tommy Stone, I like Tommy Stone's
vibe.
His flavor, his vibe. He's really into and he's kind of like cool, but he's not on the dirty side. He's kind of he's playing the entertainment business square, which
Hollywood,
is cool.
Though. He's from LA, so he has a Hollywood LA vibe in Vegas now.
In 1960.
Yeah.
Which in 2013, he's probably made like 50 movies and already retired. But he's doing his thing. Now he needs to get this liquor license.
Yes.
Now, what was this liquor license for? It was for another venue.
For the room, or no, not for the room. No, but he's opening he's opening a new club.
He's opening a new club.
So he needs to get the liquor license for the new club.
Right. So they approach Yvonne, because she knows some girls at the county
the city
office that actually grants permits and licenses and all that.
Yeah.
So Yvonne had an interesting request to barter for her getting this liquor license for Tommy Stone, which is the last thing that I expected.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
And Amy Garcia, if you really can't sing, when we have you here, Amy Garcia hopefully is going to be here soon. But when she comes here, when she comes here, we're going to see if she can bust a couple notes.
Yeah, if that was all.
I mean, if that's really her singing, she can sing.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
Or whoever that girl is singing, I was impressed. So, we're gonna see what's up in a minute. But
I like this little story with her character because she says that she's always wanted to sing on stage, and when she was younger, they would follow the tour bus around, and like that was like her thing. Like she wanted
her dad, right? She said she used to sing with her father.
Yeah.
And she mentioned I guess it was a band or something he used to play with that was, I guess, supposed to be well known at the time or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Which I thought was an endearing part of the story.
It was.
And to see her pursue this dream. Now, the cool thing is, Tommy hooked up a list of names and numbers for her to go pursue.
Yeah.
He gave her the tryout. He could have easily just been like, he got his license already. He could have easily been like, sorry, I gave you a tryout,
Yeah.
you're not. But she was good. He was like, I might be able to make a little more money. Who knows? So he hooked her up.
Well, okay, maybe if she wasn't good though, he might have been like, oh, you know what I mean? But because of the fact that she was good.
Right. But anytime you do something for somebody, you kind of have to go out of your way to a certain degree.
I mean, you could have had her like sing at the Savoy or something. You
right.
you wouldn't give her like a list of
He sends her back to Hollywood with names and numbers, and I guess like she's making these calls and she's setting up appointments. Like he probably made some calls for her, but so she could follow up or whatever on her trip, and he's about to take off. Now, what's funny is her getting this break. What's funny is how everything went down with the whole Barry Silver, Violet, and Dixon setting him up, which is what Tommy set the girl up to sleep with Barry Silver, and Violet is supposed to walk in.
Well, she did.
Well, she does walk in, and that's supposed to be the legitimate way that she's able to dump him without honorably being blacklisted because he cheated on her. Whatever.
Yeah, and she walked in on him,
which is ironic because he's already married.
Yeah, but that's because like she knows that he's meant. So like she knows that I'm not the main chick,
right?
Like she knows he has wife, probably has kids and this and that, and so the whole nine. You know what I mean? Right. So like she's
not into him anyway.
Yeah, so like
but for you out there, sorry not to cut Nick off, but for you out there who are the side chick, if you are a side chick, remember. If you ever, and this is a public service announcement, if you ever become the main chick, your old job just opened up.
Started from the side, now we're here.
Started from the side, now my whole. Wait,
the whole team.
My old position
a baby now.
is available. Now.
So
that's no bueno for you guys. Don't be the side chick. Be the main chick from the beginning. Leave it at that. Anyway.
Or have your guy be the side guy.
Wait a minute.
Oh, see?
Stop that.
Pandora's box right there.
Can of worms. We're going fishing. I'm a little fish.
Hey.
Going fishing with a whole can of worms.
Either way, so she walks in,
She catches him.
Mid.
Now, what's funny is I'm thinking she got some real good stuff, or the other chick's stuff probably wasn't really that good because he decides to beg her to stay with him and gives her a role.
A speaking role.
6 scenes, 19 lines. I don't know why I remember that, maybe because I act and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so gets this part in one of his films. Now, how come he hasn't been hooking her up already? That's his girl. Like he's a producer.
She's not a good actress though.
No, but apparently she's already established that she's a good actress. He's just not going out of her way to help her. He just wants to keep her on the side as some little nookie. That's all he wants to do.
Yeah.
He keeps her in Vegas over here in this nice house, and then whenever he wants to fly in town and have a good time, he hooks up with her, and that's pretty much it, which is really whack, and she knows that she's wasting whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So now she gets to go to Hollywood and be in this movie that he's producing. I didn't really like the whole parting of ways with her and Dixon and how they were parting ways, and... It was kind of like, well, maybe if it happens, kind of thing.
No, I mean, Dixon came over. He brought the ham, and he was excited to see his girl.
I wonder how many times did you guys have to shoot that with him actually popping and it just spraying up the champagne when he was at the door? I wonder how many takes he had to get that right.
6.
19.
Either way,
6 scenes, 19 lines. Anyway,
so it was kind of sad. Because like she had to leave that night, so there wasn't even
feelings about that.
There wasn't even like a one night of last of passion, or there was just like I'm leaving.
Like it didn't seem passionate to me. I just kind of felt like she was like, "Oh well, you were cool while it lasted, but I gotta go, bro." That's what it kind of felt like. She got disconnected real quick.
Like it was her. Because maybe she wasn't in it like how Dixon was in it.
I think he's gonna find that out when he goes out there because he's gonna go escort Yvonne. I guess him and Jack are having lunch or whatever in the diner, and he sees what's going on with him and Mia. Dixon sees what's going on with his Uncle Jack and Mia, and it's like Dixon's like, "Yo, go get her, dude. Like, I don't have the woman I love right now. If you get something, you want to hold on to it. You don't let it go." So I guess he's like, "I'm going to Hollywood." Like he's an American Idol contestant. I'm going to Hollywood.
Yeah, and so since Yvonne was going to Hollywood,
so he's not really escorting Yvonne like she thought. He's really just hitching a ride.
He said it was cheaper than bus fare.
Yeah, it is cheaper than bus fare.
So he's going out to L.A.
He's going to Hollywood
to go chase after his love.
Now, unfortunately for Yvonne, she thought he was coming with her to escort her. She was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm going after Violet." Blah blah blah. And she was like, "Okay, all right, cool.
But
it'll be a cool ride." And she thought he was coming with her.
Stone
to be with her.
Stone is starting to plant his flag. He said, "Go buy this deli."
That's right.
Pick me up a sandwich.
Pastrami from what place is that? Something delicate. It started with an L. I can't remember the name of it. But
no, it wasn't Lowry's. I'm gonna say Lowry's.
No, it wasn't Lowry's. But pick up pastrami. He said, in fact, here. Well, it was funny. He was like, "Pick me up pastrami." He had a $1 bill in his hand. I was like, "What can you get for $1? You get a whole sandwich for $1?
Pastrami sandwich.
I guess you
in 1960.
I guess you can. Yeah. Because when Ralph had breakfast for $2.99 or $3.99 a couple months ago, he had like the works for breakfast, coffee and everything for like. I mean, you can go to Norm's right now and get a full breakfast for $2.99. So I mean, back then it was probably 50 cents.
Well, you remember like coffee used to be like 10 cents. You remember like they used to, So yeah, like $1 for a pastrami sandwich. This is probably like a big foot long. This is like a real sandwich, And then she was like, "You want me to drive back 300 miles with the sandwich?"
Right. And that's when he pulls his wallet out like a big baller, pulls out another $1. In fact. When you go get it, get one for yourself too. And
but
when you
don't take a bite
till you come back here.
I want to see your face light up. Yeah, we'll call it a day.
We'll call you. Is that a date? Like, oh snap! Oh no, Tommy Stone and Yvonne.
Who knows?
Who knows? That's gonna be a problem for Dixon.
Well,
because I have a feeling. I mean, he's no slouch. This guy, he's able to recruit and get girls.
Yeah,
because he's a promoter / entertainment director, so the girls flock to him.
He's an LA guy,
and it's not just the fact that he's the entertainment director. He's a handsome kid, and
he's an LA guy,
which helps. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out.
It is
with Yvonne and
Tommy Stone,
but something's gonna go awry, I think, in LA. We saw some of the previews or whatever. I mean, we pretty much covered everything, did we?
Predictions.
We pretty much covered everything. Let's go into
news and gossip.
Let's go into news and gossip. We're gonna go into news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so news and gossip. The news is, as you guys are well aware, is that Vegas has moved from the Tuesday time slot at 10 p.m. to the Friday time slot at, is it 10? 9 p.m.
9 or 10, one of those.
9 or 10.
Check your local listings.
Check your local listings. The question is this a kiss of death for the show? Because Friday night is not the night that you kind of want to be on, Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
sure. I have mixed feelings about that because I think the show deserved a time slot or better time slot than what it had already. So we just have to see how it kind of plays out.
I don't think it's a kiss of death. I mean, I know that's probably like what history has told us. But, I feel that because we have about 6 more episodes left or 5 episodes left. So, if we really knock these out of the park and, they get the ratings, and they get greenlit for the second season and then they start shooting the second season.
Right.
Then I feel that they may get a better time slot. And, the numbers will be back up to where they were at the beginning of the season. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I really think they need to jump up on a romantic something with Ralph and the 88. There has to be a couple things.
Catherine needs to start showing a little more skin.
In 1960.
Carrie-Anne Moss. I mean, we need the ratings.
He said, we need the ratings, Carrie-Anne. Gonna throw her in a bikini at the Savoy on an investigation though. She's on an investigation.
We need the ratings.
We need the ratings.
Or throwing like the real the black leather Trinity jumpsuit.
The spandex.
Yeah.
That she still can dance in the water.
Run on walls and everything.
She can dance in the water and not get wet. Because there's that tight.
We need the ratings.
We need the ratings. Help us out, Trinity. Anyway, okay, let's just shoot to predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, going back to news really quickly, we are going to be shooting from now on. You guys will catch us for CBS's Vegas after show on Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time instead of Tuesdays now because of the time change. And we don't shoot on Fridays here. We're going to be shooting on Sundays. And you will catch our co-host Bamm Ericsen back here, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. He'll be back. He's out of town shooting, doing something big because, Bamm Ericsen, that's what he does. He's just that guy. And we're rooting him on while he's working and doing his thing. So, go Bamm. Anyway, on to predictions. What do you predict based on what we saw from?
Based on what we saw, I feel that Yvonne is going to go out to Hollyweird, and something weird is going to happen with Mr. Barry Silver, a la the old casting couch, and she's going to be like, wait a minute, what's going on here? This isn't what I signed up for. He can say, this is Hollywood toots, just like that.
You think it's going to be Silver again? There has to be other producers. I think I could bring another producer.
There has to be there is other producers, but the established producer that we already know,
we're already familiar with. We saw Dixon beating somebody up, didn't we? Was he fighting with her? Who was Dixon fighting with?
I don't know. He could be fighting with possibly a boyfriend that's out in Hollywood. We don't know.
Well, things are going to get more heated. I mean, my prediction is the obvious. We know that things are going to get way more heated with the whole Savino, Mia, Jack triangle thing going on. Hopefully there's going to be something that happens, or we saw something's going to happen with the DA as well. He's going to get hemmed up some kind of way because he's not used to getting his hands filthy. He's only used to getting his hands dirty.
Slightly dirty.
This
grazing,
Yeah. He plays in the sand. He doesn't dive into the mud like the rest of the guys. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens next week, and I'm looking forward to it because that part of the storyline I really love. I mean, this Dixon storyline with all that's going on with him and Yvonne, and then the Mia, Savino, Jack storyline is really great, and those are the crux of the show right there. So, yeah. Can't wait to see what happens next week. So, After Buzzers, see you guys Sunday. Where can we find you, Nicholas?
April 15th, Monday, you can find me at the Comedy Store, but you can find me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue.
I think you just find him at Nick Perdue, too, because he's the only Nick Perdue.
No, there's a couple other Nick Perdues.
No, they don't exist. No other Nick Perdue is the only Nick Perdue.
They're fake.
They're fake.
They're robots.
I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey, and you can find me at Twitter, Club Thaddeus, and on Instagram at Club Thaddeus. And you can find me here for our House of Cards on Sunday at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. And you can find me here Sunday, 5 p.m. for CBS's Vegas.
Vegas is CBS.
Until next time, After Buzzers.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.